Hey everybody, Logan here. This might be, wait for it, the ultimate PC controller of all time. Actually, it's a multi-platform controller. I know, but that's a big statement, right? But after seeing it, Mobapad reached out to me and said, hey, take a look at this. Do you want to review this? And I was like, and I saw the specs on it, and I saw some of the features. We're going to go over it in just a moment. What is that you say? That's the Mobapad Huben 2? Huben 2? Huben 2. Okay, if you're a wrestling fan from the 90s, you know where I got that from. But honestly, look at this. It looks pretty simple. I like the white and red color scheme. They also have pink and black. Well, two different versions. But come on. That looks great. Very simple, very clean. But it's all about the features. Ooh, this might blow your mind. Here we go. The Huben 2. Okay, I can't not do that. So, mechanical controller. So when Mobapad reached out to me, thank you Mobapad for sending me this. I've tested a number of their controllers and reviewed them before, especially the ones for the Switch, and I was pleasantly surprised. The big thing that gets me, these are all mechanical keys, but they have the liquid silicone above the mechanical press. And, well, if you guys have done any research, which you probably haven't, that's why you're watching my video, I have. Those liquid silicone buttons can go up to 10 million presses. Even their website claims that. And putting that over the mechanical buttons, I'm really interested in seeing how that works. Now, it's got true HD rumble, it's got gyro, it's got everything PC gamers and niche PC gamers. Like, honestly, I do know there's a number of people that like gyro, but it's not a main selling point. But hey, this has it. So I think the big thing that people are going to go, thank you, over this one, me, not so much, but I've seen it quite a bit in my comments section, and that is 4 flappy paddles, or back buttons, but 4 flappy paddles here, not on the top, not 2 here, not 2 somewhere around. People seem to want 4 back here, but I'm going to tell you, someone's going to complain that they're lined up and not vertical. People always do. But hey, you got 4 back there. Let's go over what the box says, the features right here. You got your 6-axis motion sensing, which is the gyro. 10 ohm run mechanical buttons. Now that I'm not sure of. I saw that's what they listed it on their website. I have to do a little more research into what that exactly is. Hey, if you guys know, drop it in the comment section below. That's new to me. Capacitive joysticks, multifunction setting button, trigger switch, 4 programmable rear buttons, compatible with charging dock. So there's a charging dock that they offer. And, well, you can use it as well. Anti-slip rubberized grips. Now, I'm not sure everything that comes in here. I think it's a case. But, as you can see, it's just a standard, pretty simple box. So, let us open it. But before we do, there you go. Windows 10 and 11, Switch, Android, iOS. So, hey, if you want to use it on any of those, there you go. We're going to be testing it on PC because that's the only way to get, you know, all of it out of it, especially 1000 hertz, because you're not going to get that on the other devices. So we definitely want to take a look. We're, of course, going to run it through and look at the out-of-the-box latency and all that other good stuff. So let's pop this bad boy open. There we go. That is a very nice case, I will say that. I like the texture. It's very sturdy. White can get a little dirty depending on, you know, where you're taking it, how you're traveling, what you're putting in, but it's a gorgeous look to it. I love the red, white, and black. Of course I would. But that is a gorgeous case. Well designed, Very nice quality. We're not even talking about the controller yet, just the case in itself. You look up here, this is where they store the cable. So it's got that little Velcro thing. I get how it's convenient, but I'm not a big fan of it because it makes it a little bit of pain in the butt to pull it out. So you got a braided cable, which is always nice, Type-C. And, oh, that's cool. You don't usually see too many cables with these anymore. These are the calibrators, so if any kind of reason you have the stick moved or whatnot while you're plugging it in, that keeps any kind of issue where people think it's drift and it's not. You've just touched your stick or moved it or had it whatnot while you were plugging it in. That happens on console quite a bit, but with these, that doesn't happen. So, yeah, you got, that's interesting to have one on each end. But maybe one does one thing and one does the other, but usually that's what those things are for. I actually learned that way back in the day when I was working at GameStop. We asked, I forget who it was. It was one of the guys who was into tech, and he actually told me that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty nifty. So there you go. That's the controller. We'll look at that in a second. Dongle and D-pad. So glossy, ultra glossy. Sticks are nice. Anti-friction, but I'm going to tell you this. The Switch 2 Pro controller has really spoiled me when it comes to the sticks, or should I say stick feel. So it's going to be really hard for any controller to stack up to that, but these still have a very nice, super smooth feel. That is probably the best feeling mechanical button I've ever pressed. Not overly loud, not overly clicky, but it has a substantial press. Like, it's not one of those cheap, like, it's hard to explain, but when you press it, that feels good. It feels quality. Nice shoulder buttons. Yeah, this looks exactly like an Xbox Series XS controller. Yes, to the T. I like the triggers. They're more flat here, so it's slightly rounded with texture right there. Nice. D-pad you can swap out. That is a light D-pad. Nice and airy. It's not soft, not too much feedback. Pop it right off. If you want, you can add the regular D-pad. Let's see, that one goes right there. It actually has a little indent right there, a little notch, so you know exactly how to put it on correctly. It's a little small when you use this one. This one actually makes it feel much bigger, but of course it's the disc pad. I prefer this one. That's a really nice feel. Oh, there we go. We got some power right away. We know that. Type-C. Oh, they actually used a, is that an orange or a red connector? Looks almost orangey. I can't tell because of my lighting, but that's nice. So you got your 4 flappy paddles, and you've got your little switch back here that says NS for Nintendo Switch. You got your Bluetooth and you got your dongle. So it comes as Bluetooth default, but we're going to test it with PC with the dongle. So you've got trigger locks. Ooh, it's a 2-way trigger lock, but that is nice. Now, one thing I'm going to do before we actually get into the latency test portion of the video, I want to actually show you guys the website because I really don't feel that the box shows enough, especially with it not being in 100% English. It just doesn't go into it enough, but there's so many more features that I want to go into it with you over that. And like I said, the best way to do it is going over the website, so I will show you that. Now, what is really impressive, it's got some nice weight to it, and it feels really solid in the hand. The grip is a little rougher than I like, but I think it's still nice. It feels really nice in the hand. That is really sturdy feeling controller. Really like the trigger locks. And I love the fact that it comes with a very, very nice case. That is nice. The buttons, the face buttons really get me. And I'm actually glad they sent me the the red and white one, because like I said, there's an all black one and there's also a pink one, but I think it just made sense for my channel to have these colors. If you guys didn't know, little tidbit, my original channel colors were gray, red, and white. I swapped out gray later on and replaced it with black just because, well, just because. So yeah, there you guys go. There's a little history lesson for those people who are new to the channel. That is nice. But it can have all these great features, feel fantastic, but if it doesn't have the performance and if it doesn't feel good while you're playing, what's the purpose? So let's take a look at the website so I can show you a bit more of what this controller offers, technically, like I call it, under the hood. And then we're going to definitely test out the latency and see how it feels in game. Okay, let's take a look at the website here, because I think this shows a bit better than the box ever could. So this is Mobapad's website, and as you can see, it's called the Huben 2. I know I've been calling the Huben 2, but yes, Huben 2. Wireless switch and PC controller. I think the PC will definitely take full advantage of this over this switch. So you can see black with carrying case. That's what we have right here. The pink with carrying case. And the white. They sent me the white, as you can tell. So if we go down, we can see a little more of the specs. Mobapad Huben 2 mechanical controller, HD rumble on PC and Switch, ALPS linear motors, HD rumble, capacitive joysticks, 1000 Hz wireless polling rate, dual trigger, micro switch Hall triggers, Omron mechanical buttons, crisp click, and snappy responsiveness. I'm assuming that's what they use in order to create or to make those mechanical buttons, and maybe it's a brand name. Again, I'm unfamiliar with that, but as you look, it looks pretty nice. PC, Switch, Android, iOS support, breakthrough HD rumble, real-time game scene capture, plus dynamic adaptive HD vibration for immersive experience. Precision capacitive joysticks, 4096 step sensitivity, 1000 Hz hyperspeed response, wired and wireless. Mechanical Hall dual trigger modes, 2mm clicky. I like how they put clicky. Micro switch plus 10mm Hall linear trigger. Face buttons, Omron mechanical buttons, durable and crisp and responsive. Zero dead zone, PC app, no latency. Linear motors, ERM. Now, okay, this is what I thought was rather interesting. The linear motors, less than 1 millisecond linear motor response time. ERM motor, 10 milliseconds to about 100 millisecond ERM motor response time. I found that rather interesting that they decided to show the motor response time as a point of interest, but okay. True HD rumble, powered by dual ALPS linear engines plus sound to shock tech. Feel explosions rain, even heartbeats pulse through your hands in real time. That's if the game supports it. So keep that in mind. Not all games, most games do not support HD rumble, but if you are playing it on the Switch, you will definitely get full HD rumble support. So keep that in mind. Again, we've got white, black, and pink. I'm actually glad they sent me the white with the red and not the black. I'm sorry, I'm one of those people that if you're just getting a black on black controller, I think they're rather boring. I would have said, hey, I'll take the pink with the black over the black on black. It's just kind of meh. But yeah, I really do like the white on the red. FPS vibration realism. Mobapad capacitive joysticks beyond pro grade. You got your 1000 Hertz. And then 1 millisecond ultra low latency in your sticks. So, okay, that's good to know. One thing I noticed, it didn't say anything about the button latency. So that's why we always test it. Precision 12-bit ADC tracking empowered by a 12-bit sampling chip. Capacitive joysticks achieve 4096 step resolution for ultra linear control. This delivers silk smooth fine tuning and lightning fast response. Micro switch Hall linear trigger. You got 2mm mechanical micro switch, 256 step dual mechanical Hall trigger mode, micro switch mode, which is the 2mm travel instant click response mouse like tactile. So there you go for your trigger locks. 10mm Hall linear mode. The Omron mechanical buttons provide a clear pressing feedback and a crisp tactile. The Omron micro switches not only have a shorter actuation stroke than traditional micro switches, but are also paired with a liquid silicone rebound wall, resulting in a faster triggering speed and lower rebound delay. That was one thing I did like about some of their other controllers, that they had the liquid silicone, and that was really nice. It was a really smooth, really soft feedback, and apparently it lasts longer than your regular rubber switches when they put them in there. So I thought that was a cool thing, but again, only time will tell how long they last because it's a fairly new thing. So 0.7mm trigger key travel, feather, what is that, 120 GF? Guardian Force? Feather light press, 10 million presses? Button life? Okay, can we get a little copy editor here? There's been a couple of mistakes on this website, but hey, it's all right. So 10 million button presses. That's the liquid silicone. This is what I wanted to take a look at. So this is what the micro switches look like underneath, and then this is not your standard rubber or even standard silicone. It's made out of a liquid silicone, and I had to look it up. It's just the substance in which they use to create this silicone button overlay. So this is where the caps of the buttons go on. These stick out, and then each of those are your mechanical ones. So it makes it just last longer. I think that's a pretty cool invention. Now, again, only time will tell, but it does allow you to feel it differently when you're pressing it. It does feel very nice when you are pressing it, I will say that. 4 back buttons with expanded custom macro functionality. The grip is wrapped with rubber over 180-degree large area. Okay, cool. So you got your M1, M2, M3, and M4, like we saw in the unboxing. A lot of people like that. My personal preference is if you're going to have back flappy paddles, where the M3 and the M4 are, I like those. And the M1 and M2, I prefer the claw buttons. But God, people just go after me when I say I don't like 4 flappy paddles. I like 2, and then the 2 claw. It's just more comfortable to me. But a lot of people love this. Now, other people will say because they're in a line, they hate it. They want them vertically. Hey, you know what? There's no pleasing everybody. Advanced 6-axis motion tracking instant response, 0 latency. I want to say 0 latency. It's never 0 latency, but it's dang near close. The Mobapad controllers have had really, really precise gyro from when I tested the other one, so I'll definitely give them on that. PC phone with rich customization. So you've got your joystick adjustment, macro vibration. You can just download the apps on your PC or mobile. PC switch, Android, iOS, wired Bluetooth dongle, PC switch, Android, iOS, and then there you go. So you can see iOS, Android capability, native mode only, key remapping not supported, iOS Genshin Impact compatible, Android currently unsupported. So you got your turbo function right down in here. You got your cross and circle replaceable D-pad. 1,000 mAh battery provides about 15 hours of playtime. See, that's one thing without the box being in English, you kind of miss certain things here, and this is what I wanted to go over because the back of the box doesn't say enough, and then with just a fraction of it being in English, I thought this would definitely help much more. Normally, all this is listed on the back of the box when I read it, or somewhere around the box, so that's why we're back here at the website. Precision is in every detail, quality in every material. I will say that it feels really nice. And then here you go. All the information if you want to know. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Button configuration. I like how it says Xbox, but it isn't compatible with Xbox. That's funny. It's just the PC/Microsoft layout now. Since Xbox is pretty much going the way of the dodo, it's probably going to still be considered Xbox, but might just be considered PC from here on out. Crazy, huh? So, and then these are some of the other accessories that you can purchase, and there you go. So hopefully that helped and gave us a bit more than the box. And like I said, normally I just go over everything that's listed on the box, but wasn't as straightforward this time. So there we go. Now let's test the latency. Okay, so gamepad the gamepad tester for controllertest.org has been updated, but this is the 4th time I'm trying to record this because the website has just gone wonky. So they've updated it, but there's significant issues with the site. So at least one thing, now after the 4th attempt, you can see the stick paths. That is pretty nifty. So you can see the resistance, and that's I just like that. That is a good addition, because then you can just go wee and see exactly. That's cool how precise that is. I could color that whole thing in. And if you want, you can just clear it. And there you go. So let's go down to the button testing. Hopefully this works. Like I said, this is the 4th time, but the website just keeps going wonky on me. So let's see how quickly we can get through this. Let's go. Alrighty. Okay, this is a interesting test. I'm very surprised. I am very, very surprised, but pleasantly surprised. All the most important buttons I did around the 40, and then the ones that aren't as important, like the start, select, slash menu buttons, whatnot, I only did around the 30. But we're looking at, for the standard face buttons, around the 40-ish mark, right out of the box. You're looking at a very fast controller. Minimum is like 0.5. We're looking at around the 0.6, 0.7 minimum, with the highest being 5.7. Still, that's actually pretty fast. But look at the averages. Everything on those face buttons is below a 3 millisecond. Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that fast. That's a fantastic controller. It's just face buttons alone. Now, if you're looking at the bumpers, you're getting a bit faster speeds out of what seems like the right bumper over the left. I'm not sure why, but again, like I tell everybody, this is right out of the box. This is the first 40 plus presses out of the box. Things change over time with wear and tear. But wow, that's actually pretty nice. Now the triggers, I did something on each one. The right one was trigger lock. The left one was no trigger lock. And look at the difference. Like, look at the difference. 3.2 on the left, 2.7 with trigger lock. So no trigger lock, 3.2 max. And a minimum is 0.9 with the right trigger, 0.7. Yeah. And 2.7 millisecond. I would say just keep the locks on. Definitely just keep the locks on. And the start and back buttons, still cool, 2.7. Now the sticks, the left one seems to be a bit faster on average, but roughly they really look the same. It's kind of weird. But this means the max and the minimum are around the same, but that means you got more 3+ clicks on the right stick than the left. But again, that's only around the 30th. Most people will not be pressing those as intensely as they will be the triggers or the face buttons. The D-pad is another one. If you're playing fighting games, yeah, you're looking at around the 40 presses, a 3 millisecond. So the D-pad doesn't seem to be as responsive as face buttons. I'm not sure why that is, but it could also have something to do with whatever it is you're playing. Fighting games, that's still extremely fast. If you look at your minimum, you're still at 0.6 millisecond, 0.7 minimum. And the only one that seems to be the highest is the down D-pad at 6.3 milliseconds, but otherwise it's still a very fast controller. Those face buttons are what really surprised me, and I do like the triggers. I think this is a fantastic controller in terms of performance. I'm taken aback by this controller. I wasn't expecting this. So, well, let's test it in a game. Sorry about that. I just noticed after recording the last segment that the website caused my whole Streamlabs to crash and cause the camera to act up, and well, it froze my camera. Now, I don't want to re-record the whole thing because then it wouldn't be right out of the box testing. It wouldn't be fair, it wouldn't be right. It's technically not the same one, and I wouldn't be able to respond right away, but you can see me and hear me doing everything. So there you go. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to be disingenuous. So we're gonna move on to this part where I'm actually testing the feel during gameplay. Yeah, I'm going to put the trigger locks back on. All right. Ooh, much better. Right in the nuts. The controller feels really nice. Okay. Back buttons do come pre-mapped. So if you don't want to download the software, they're already pre-mapped. You don't have to worry about that. The sticks are ultra smooth. Little louder, but that's all right. They do have the metal around the sticks, so you get that smoother feel. You also don't get, most people don't realize, but when you have plastic on plastic, it tends to scrape. But when you have the anti-friction rings with the metal sticks, well, the metal overlay, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't do that. So that's also a great feature. Everything feels great. It's got that Xbox controller feel. So if you like the Xbox controller, you're going to feel extremely comfortable with this. If you like the PlayStation controller, well, this ain't for you. But I'm going to have to say something. This is probably going to be up there with my top PC controllers of all time. I really do like everything about this controller. It feels great. Those buttons, those face buttons. This is just a fantastic controller in every way. I will say thank you, Mobapad, for sending me this. Again, I was very skeptical. I was very... let's just say I wasn't expecting to be this flabbergasted. I wasn't expecting to be this surprised and this impressed by this controller. It even has me slightly bit tongue-tied because, man, this is a cool controller. I like almost everything about this. I'm going to go over just a couple of things that I'm not a big fan of, and they're just stupid little things. The gloss. That's my thing. Not a big fan of gloss, but it's super smooth. Makes it comfortable in the hand, but that's the only thing. So keep in mind, if you're getting the black one, you're going to get the fingerprints. The pink one, I'm pretty sure you're not going to have any issues. The white, you only get the smudges if you're looking at it a certain way. I do like the fact that you got 2 different D-pads. This is a bit smaller, so if you like larger, you got the circle pad. The only thing is, and this is my thing on every controller, super smooth stick caps like right here. Not a big fan. I usually like textures. It's a nice texture around, but that's my only thing. That's why in almost every one of my videos that you see me talking about my favorite controllers or controllers that I use or whatnot, you see stick caps. Whether it's 8BitDo, whether it's GameSir, whether it's PowerA, whether it's Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation, you're going to see me with stick caps on, because I prefer the ones that have texture on the top. So that's my only gripe, but that's a me thing. Most people aren't going to have that problem. I like the fact that it's Type-C. I don't know, I like the little attention to detail right there, that it's not your standard typical Type-C, it's a different color. Yeah. I think this is a great controller. And at that price, the website said it's originally $130 controller, but you can get it now for $79. I don't know if that's a permanent price or what that is, but it looks like it is on sale probably for the launch. I think this is a fantastic controller. I'm going to find it hard to find other controllers that are really going to be this impressive for me. Yes, I do like other ones with TMR sticks, like the 8BitDo or Big One, or Mojang as they're called now. But you know what? This 1000 hertz liquid silicone buttons, that face button set really does it for me. But I've gone on long enough. Tell me what you guys think. Do you plan on picking up the Huben 2? Okay, I'll stop that. Controller by Mobapad. Thank you once again, Mobapad, for sending me this, and I am so glad that I am pleasantly surprised at just how awesome this controller really is. Again, I wasn't expected to be so blown away, and I think this is pretty cool. But again, thank you, Mobapad, and thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. God bless each and every one of you, and like we always say, be legendary. Thanks again.